Today on Iceberg TV, we're going to bring you our second video on the Black Zombie Disc Golf series. We'll be reviewing the mid-range, the shotgun, and we've been testing these discs for about a month now, and I think we're ready to give our final thoughts on it. This is a 5.5 mid-range, and the profile to me looks like a Mako 3, but different from the Mako. It does have a micro bead on it, so you can see it does have a small bead here, so a Mako 3 wouldn't have a bead. So this, to me, is shaped exactly like a Mako 3 with a micro bead. So when I pulled it out of the box, I was looking at it and I see the numbers are 5502, but then I see the profile on it, and then I also see that it's a pop top as well. So I didn't think it would be possible that this would actually be stable enough to be considered a 5502. And upon testing it, I think that my intuition was right. This does not fly like a 5502 for me. Even when thrown pretty softly, it still mostly just has a very straight flight. I think the flight numbers on this, at least in this color with this dome, needs to be like a 5.5 or a 5.400. I think this disc is pretty straight, and to me this even might be like a 5.4 minus 1.0. Like, this thing turns over for me quite a bit. It's definitely not a 5502. With my arm speed, even when I throw it soft, it tends to just turn over, and I don't have a very torquey throw. I feel like I throw fairly smoothly, and this thing still just pretty much turns over every time. But I knew that just immediately after looking at it because of the profile, and it's shaped like other discs that I'm used to throwing. I used to bag a Mako 3 for a long time, and it's shaped very similarly. And I was thinking, wow, micro bead can't add that much stability, and it didn't. But again, just because the flight numbers are a little inaccurate, this probably makes it a better disc for more players than a true 5502 would be. When you think overstable mid, you think of discs like the Malta or the Gator or the MD5, something that's going to go straight and then dump at the end of the flight. This is going to give you a much more standard sort of buzz or rock type flight. You're going to see a much more straight flight with a slight finish at the end if you have a slower arm speed. And if you have a little bit faster arm speed, or you throw with a little bit more torque, then it's going to get a nice turn for you, and it's very controllable, and it is something that you can get used to. And this is a straight penetrating mid-range that can be used in my book for hyzer flips or anhyzer shots. And when it does get on that anhyzer line, it doesn't really seem to turn into a roller, so it is fairly torque resistant. It's not just going to burn over, it's going to sort of just ride that anhyzer all the way down. So I think with this being a little bit more neutral of a disc than the flight numbers would signify, I still think that opens the door for more players than like that overstable mid slot would fill. So they don't really have that much fade unless you have really slow arm speed, but again, that's how it flew for me. I'm gonna hand you over to the Ice Dad, MA50 player. He's a little bit slower arm speed than me, and he had a different experience with this disc, I'm sure. So let's hear your thoughts on the shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, you are definitely right. This disc is definitely more understable than what the numbers would signify. I like throwing it. Seems to carry quite a ways, and if you put on an anhyzer line, you're right, it doesn't turn and burn. It'll actually hold that anhyzer all the way down. And so yeah, if you're like a backhand only player, a disc like this would really suit your bag if you don't have a forehand and you do a lot of turnover shots. I definitely would not throw it in a headwind, but that's pretty much it. I mean, it's an understable mid. It's definitely not going to make my bag. Out of the Black Zombie disc we've tested, this was probably my least favorite of the three. I really like the other two. But there are a lot of players that will like this. Like I said, if you're backhand dominant, woodsy shots, yeah, if you want something that's just a point and shoot, this is a good point and shoot disc, especially for a beginner player. So if that's what you're looking for, this shotgun may be the disc for you.
Yeah, I think point and shoot is a really good way to describe it, and I think if that was a true 5502, I think it would be applicable to less players than what it actually is. It's going to have that nice, like, hyzer flippy, very point and shoot, straight type flight for you. So if you're someone who likes the flight of a Mako, but you like the beat of a rock, but a rock's too stable for what you want to use it for, you can get yourself a shotgun and you'll kind of fill that gap in between those two molds. So there's something really cool to that as well, because I know heaps of players bag rocks. That's going to complement a rock very well. If you want to check out merch or become a patron, click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. This is Iceberg TV, and take care. Sick.